Yeah, and I've seen sort of a variety of between somebody just having a basic concept and being able to riff on that on stage for a few minutes, which I admire if they can keep it tight.
Right.
And then people who have some notes that they refer to, and then there's the classic, and as I'm not going to obviously point to anybody in particular, but during recordings, there are times when I'm just like, I need this guy to finish up. You know?
Yeah. Could he stop, please, God?
Is there a point? But yeah, I don't know. That's the idea of that appeals to me as a writer a lot more. The Barflies or Lit Lounge variety of that sort of thing, because and anybody who's listened to through the openings of this show knows that when I don't prepare something, I can ramble on for a few minutes. And, you know, and it fits the vibe of the show, okay, and I get to a point. But you know, when you're on stage like that, especially, you know, and as a poet, I've been on stage a number of times, but there's also, that is despite a stage fright situation. That's the sort of thing that kept me away from being a musician or pursuing a career as a songwriter, was that I'm like, I can't play in front of people. And I've done so since, and it was actually doing readings was a gateway into being able to do that. But it seems to me like if you're a writer who has a performative bent, then that route would be preferable, at least to me, to getting up and just being, you know, telling your story for the first time in front of somebody without having gone through it at all.
Yeah, no, but not having something on the page would be nerve-wracking, I would think. It would be for me anyway, but yeah.
Do you, when you're preparing for something like that, do you try to have like read through it enough times? Do you ever do rehearsals yourself beforehand so you kind of know where your beats are? Or I would imagine, and again, this is something that both as a reader and an audience member in a lot of various readings and poetry shows, that it's very much appreciated when somebody's not just reading down from the paper like this and talking in a monotone. It's the worst thing ever. Or, God forbid, having that monotone professor cadence that has absolutely no life into it whatsoever. How did you possibly have any passion writing this piece that was supposed to make us feel something if you can't read it with that?
Totally. Yeah. Yes, I absolutely am the person who has it printed out and is reading through it. And I mean, that's how you know how it's going to flow. You have to feel it coming out of your mouth to have a good handle on it, I think.
Sure.
Because then you'll go through and you'll be like, oh God, I can't say those two words after each other. That I'll get like tongue-tied or whatever it is. Or, oh my God, that sounds so stupid now that I'm saying it out loud. This fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I came to value also performing a piece as an editing tool. You know,
absolutely.
Because there's reading something out loud, you can feel how natural something sounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess sort of as we're winding down here, is there anything that we haven't hit that you might have wanted to hit?
I don't know.
You know, that's this. If you wanted to take over editing this show, no.
I'm not a good interviewee, so I don't have a good answer to that question. I'm sorry. Well,
I do have a couple more things, which is one, what did your having basically professionally observing the arts and culture scene, how did that change or alter your appreciation of it as either a participant or an audience member or somebody who just goes out and does things? Do you like have a different sort of eye for when you're at a gallery opening or like a concert or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly in having to cover things and pay attention to things, you kind of quickly learn, oh, this person's actually really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people do things, and that's great. Do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. But finding those people who are really, really talented and knowing to keep an eye on them and to not miss, whatever's next for them, that's been really key. I can't say that I don't know. I mean, I think certainly seeing the humanity in people creating things is incredibly important. Mm-hmm. And when you're just starting out, and especially when you're writing for a publication where, you need to have thoughts, you need to have opinions, it's easy to be brusque and not heartfelt, mm-hmm. and to not consider other people's humanity. And I think sometimes I'm still brusque and not heartfelt. That's, I think, just a little bit who I am. But I've certainly appreciated people more for trying. Gotcha. It's you try, you fail, or maybe you don't even fail, but whatever you did is just like not that great.
The meth
but you did it, so that's cool, I guess. But just not being like, oh well, this fucking sucks and this is unsalvageable, and like, why on earth did you think you could do this?
I think that could be one of the many reasons I'm not a critic. Is that I'd just be like, no.
Well, exactly, which is valuable to an artist to an extent. It's valuable to an artist who has a lot of potential, mm-hmm. like giving people really tough notes on a piece they've written, for instance, if you're an editor, mm-hmm. is really helpful if the person can grow and learn from them. Right. But if you're critiquing something and honestly, this probably just isn't going anywhere, mm-hmm. then I think we're all just maybe wasting our time. I don't know.
I have begun to just confirm that somebody wants me to be honest.
Oh,
because
that's so diplomatic. I've never even considered it.
I throughout my experience in both, personal life and professional life, I've gotten enough talkings to about being too blunt.
Oh, so okay.
I try to be like, okay, so what level do you want?
Yeah.
Do you want something surface? Do you want me to just placate you? Or do you want what I think?
Yeah. Do you want me at a 10 right now?
Yeah.
Because I can go to 10.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think, that's a skill that you learn just by critiquing, though. I think.
Well, I'm getting tired of seeing people cry.
Yeah. I don't like when people do emotions in front of me either, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, could you take that someplace else? Very much so. Is there anything kind of that you're excited about coming up, or that as you're tuned into things? I think this will go up sometime beginning of March, probably, or end of February. So keeping that time frame in mind is.
Like events-wise, I'm not sure.
Events-wise, or I don't know, something that you maybe a feature you've had turned into you that you're like, oh, this is going to be great.
Ooh, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm still getting in the mix of my job, so I mm-hmm. can't say like, yes, we'll definitely have. I'm sure we'll have great things happening mm-hmm. in March or mid-March. But yeah, I don't know. I can definitely say that people should be subscribing to support journalism
sure.
in whatever capacity they feel comfortable and mm-hmm. whatever organizations, are valuable to them. Because
otherwise it goes away.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, projects wise, I don't know, just like read people's work.
Sure.
And value it and, put your money where your mouth is if things matter to you. But events wise, I don't know. There's so much coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to pinpoint. I think festival season this year will be really interesting because there are so many festivals.
And at least one not returning, right? There's no, whatever that one was that I didn't go to last year that had Huey Lewis in the news.
Which, I mean, it was fun. It was a fun festival, but yeah, it's definitely like a weird and changing landscape. And I don't know how much of it is like a bubble or a trend.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd care to weigh in on it, what's the difference between something like that one that I can't remember? What was it? Lost something or
Lost
other?
Lake,
that was it. That just didn't take hold versus something that manages to hang around, like the McDowell Mountain Music Festival or or this Innings one, which is in at least its second or third year.
Yes, yeah, second year for Innings. That's a great question. I mean, I think that certainly the folks who organized Lost Lake had the best intentions, and I thought the first year they put together a really, really interesting lineup. I think the year 2 lineup was also a pretty fascinating mix of things. Do I want to see Future at a festival? Sure. Why the hell not? I don't know. But for me, it's like coming from a work perspective.
Sure.
So it's kind of a different take, you know, because I've had to go to so many festivals for, I mean, they're fun, but also their work. So,
well, and it seems like you see a rise and then demise of a style of festival too, right? Because we had, at least when I was a kid, we had
in the 90s.
In the 90s, right? Yeah. And like the Lollapaloozas and the Vans, and I think the Warped Tour is pulling up shop. They're done, right? I believe this was going to be their last year. If it wasn't last year, that was the last year. But
yeah. So
the traveling festival, that's gone pretty much, and then you have the rise of stuff like Coachella that has like the big headlining tour thing, or the headliner name, and that's the destination, and you've got then like Sasquatch and all the things that people go to, and then we have a few here like the Arcosani one, and then the McDowell Mountains, which has been around for a while, but it just seems like every couple of weeks there's something, whether it's some sort of pizza festival or I don't know.
God, is there a pizza festival?
There was something, I swear, either that or I just went to a park and there were a bunch of people making pizza. I had to pay for it, so there was something.
Okay.
But there was music and pizza trucks, and it was at the park over there.
Hans?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I missed the pizza festival. Today is National Pizza Day.
Is it?
So, yeah.
I will have to participate in that in my own way then.
Happy National Pizza Day is really what I've been waiting to say this whole time.
I feel bad for Susu. I missed National Cat Day, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was. Oh, and I don't even know how I did it, hosting a podcast on The Good Place, but I missed National Yogurt Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm a big yogurt fan. I felt like a fraud.
You're not a real yogurt fan.
I guess
and we
not.
all know it now.
Yeah, I will have to say, yeah. I didn't hit on one thing that I was curious about, just as I've always fantasized about this a little bit because, and it's nothing dirty.
All right.
As a person with a big music collection and very specific opinions about music, what it would be like to go out and DJ. Like, how is that?
Oh, it's super fun.
Yeah.
So I DJ with my friend Claire.
Claire, who I went to college with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was much older when I went and got my degree, but I was in a poetry workshop with her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, she's great and very lovely. And asked me to kind of co-DJ a pop night that we do kind of loosely seasonally. The last one we did was in December, and it's just super fucking fun. Like, it's stressful.